Imagine easing into a quiet morning long before the city's first car horn, the soft click of a kettle, the only sound in your kitchen. You swing stiff knees out from beneath a blanket and think about the doctor's latest warning. Your blood sugar numbers are flirting with danger. In the reflection of the window, you catch sight of a face etched by decades of laughter and late-night worry, eyes that have watched grandchildren chase fireflies, hands that have raised holiday feasts heavy with bread and pudding. Yet now, every bite seems laced with an invisible threat: glucose spikes, creeping neuropathy, kidneys that whisper protest in the night. What if one wrong breakfast choice today steals a year of mobility tomorrow? And what if the very foods you have avoided, because they sounded too rich, too strange, or too simple, could instead become silent guardians of your longevity? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes we will reopen your pantry, overturn conventional wisdom, and reveal 6 shockingly satisfying ingredients with 0 sugar, 0 digestible carbohydrates, and a mountain of age-defying benefits. Some of them are hiding in plain sight at your neighborhood market. Others are ancient staples your great-grandmother would hug you for rediscovering. Each one is a secret lever you can pull to slide blood sugar back into a safe range, tame runaway weight gain, and keep joints humming comfortably even as the calendar pages flip faster than ever. By the end, you will not only know their names, you will know precisely how to weave them into meals so delicious your younger relatives will fight for a place at your table. Sugar is a sly saboteur, especially after 60. Your pancreas, once spry and responsive, now works like a tired postman delivering insulin letters late, letting glucose loiter in the bloodstream long enough to etch damage into blood vessel walls. Excess carbohydrates exacerbate the problem. They break down into glucose almost as quickly as pure sugar, flooding metabolic pathways already clogged by years of convenience foods and celebratory treats. Left unchecked, this biochemical traffic jam leads first to insulin resistance, size, then to type 2 diabetes, then to a cascade of indignities: blurred vision, tingling feet, wounds that heal at a pace matching the hands of an antique clock. For older adults, losing control of carbs is more than a dietary misstep. It is a direct assault on independence. A single foot ulcer can confine you to a chair. A clouded retina can erase your driver's license. Worst of all, elevated blood sugar accelerates a process scientists call glycation, in which rogue sugar molecules bind to collagen, stiffening skin and sinew alike, aging you from the inside out. Yet beneath this worrisome chemistry waits an encouraging truth. When you remove carbohydrates, especially the hidden sugars, from even one daily meal, your body rewards you almost immediately. In 24 hours, water retention eases. In 72 hours, insulin sensitivity ticks upward. Within weeks, inflammatory markers such as C-reactive protein can plummet, soothing swollen joints and brightening morning moods. Most seniors know the headline foods to avoid: pastries, soda, white bread. Fewer know the positive flip side: delicious whole foods that register a flat 0 on both the sugar and digestible carb scale. And fewer still realize that embracing them requires no gourmet chef skills, no exotic grocer, and certainly no starvation diet. All it takes is curiosity and a willingness to trade culinary autopilot for intentional nourishment. Picture yourself strolling the seafood aisle, bypassing battered fish sticks to reach fillets that shimmer like polished copper under the lights. Wild-caught salmon is the first hero of our list. And yes, though it melts in the mouth like velvet, it contains virtually no carbohydrates or sugar. Its pink hue comes from astaxanthin, a carotenoid antioxidant shown to cross the blood-brain barrier and guard neuronal membranes from oxidative aging. For seniors haunted by foggy recall or fear of dementia, astaxanthin is a nutritional bodyguard. But salmon's greatest gift lies in its omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, which tame systemic inflammation, thinning blood ever so slightly, and helping arteries remain supple rather than brittle. Study after study documents lower triglycerides, reduced arrhythmia risk, even improved mood in older adults who consume fatty fish twice weekly. Cooking need not be complicated. Lay a fillet skin sauteed down on parchment, drizzle with lemon, sprinkle dried dill, and bake 15 minutes at moderate heat. The skin crisps into a chip that rivals any potato variety but carries zero carb baggage. Feeling more adventurous? Poach salmon scraps in water with celery tops, onion skins, and peppercorns. Within 40 minutes, you have a collagen-rich fish broth that makes knees sigh with grateful lubrication. Serve a steaming mug in place of sweet tea when afternoon cravings attack. You will feed cartilage instead of hyperglycemia. Next, glide to the refrigerated section and lift a carton of humble, free-range eggs. Every glossy shell guards 6 grams of age-preserving protein, microscopic amounts of carbohydrate under half a gram per large egg, and not a speck of sugar. Skeptical? Remember that in 2015, the Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee officially removed limits on dietary cholesterol because evidence failed to link eggs to cardiovascular disease in otherwise healthy individuals. What eggs do offer is a portfolio of micronutrients seniors struggle to obtain elsewhere. Choline for memory retention, lutein and zeaxanthin for macular protection, vitamin D for bone density. Imagine cracking 3 eggs into a bowl, whisking with a splash of mineral water to fluff the proteins, then scrambling slowly in grass-fed butter until curds form like golden clouds. No toast necessary. Instead, fold in wilted spinach and a dusting of turmeric, letting curcumin's anti-inflammatory powers join the party. In 5 minutes, you have a breakfast that steadies glucose longer than oatmeal, fuels muscle repair, and leaves room in your daily carb budget for the berries you love. Oil seldom headlines a meal, yet extra virgin coconut oil deserves star billing in any zero-carb pantry. Composed almost entirely of medium-chain triglycerides, it bypasses the usual fat storage pathways and travels straight to the liver where it burns like quick lighting kindling, yielding ketones, tiny energy molecules that brain cells utilize effortlessly when glucose falters. Seniors battling the afternoon slump can swirl a teaspoon of coconut oil into herbal tea and experience a gentle lift without the crash of sugary cookies. Lauric acid, a constituent unique to coconut, wields antiviral and antibacterial properties useful for older immune systems sometimes weakened by medication regimens. Topical application moisturizes thinning skin, while culinary use raises HDL, the so-called good cholesterol, nudging the lipid profile toward longevity. Slide a spoonful under roasting vegetables to accent their natural sweetness without adding actual sugar. The aroma alone can conjure beach memories potent enough to lower cortisol. Now let us embrace a food that often elicits surprise, even disbelief. Pork rinds, or as gastronomes prefer to say, chicharron. Made from the puffed, rendered skin of pasture-raised pigs, a single serving supplies 0 carbohydrates, 0 sugars, and a crunch that shatters diet boredom. The texture satisfies neural pathways wired since childhood to equate crispness with pleasure, staving off cravings for carb-heavy chips that spike glucose and inflame joints. Look for rinds fried in their own fat rather than seed oils. The former deliver skin-supportive collagen peptides, while the latter introduce oxidized linoleic acids that accelerate aging. Pair a handful with mashed avocado. Yes, avocado contains minimal net carbs but under 2 grams sugar, to create a snack that steadies blood sugar, feeds connective tissue, and provides potassium enough to ease nighttime muscle cramps. For those missing braided comfort foods, finely crushed pork rinds mimic panko, dredge chicken tenders, bake, and enjoy perfectly crisp results without a breadcrumb of guilt. Bone broth takes patience, yet it offers a return on investment that eclipses dividend stocks. Simmering marrow-rich beef knuckles or chicken carcasses for 12 hours unlocks gelatin, glycine, proline, and a suite of minerals that conventional diets rarely deliver in meaningful doses. Laboratory analysis confirms 0 carbohydrates and 0 sugars per cup, making bone broth a hydrating elixir for seniors monitoring fasting glucose. Glycine in particular improves sleep quality when consumed before bed. Restful nights translate into lower cortisol, which in turn supports steady morning glucose levels. Pour broth into silicone molds and freeze. Drop a cube into stir-fries or vegetable purees to deepen flavor without resorting to flour-based roux. If chewing has grown difficult due to dental work, bone broth becomes a meal in itself, satiating, restorative, and free of the digestive burden that fiber-dense foods can pose to the aging gut. Finally, we arrive at perhaps the most astonishing entry on our list: translucent, virtually weightless shirataki noodles fashioned from the konjac yam. At first glance, they resemble glass spaghetti, yet their nutritional profile reads like science fiction. No sugar, no digestible carbohydrates, and scarcely any calories. Instead, they contain glucomannan, a soluble fiber that swells in the stomach, prolonging satiety and gently sweeping cholesterol from the bloodstream on its way out. For seniors lamenting the loss of pasta night, shirataki resurrects tradition without the metabolic consequences. Rinse thoroughly to dispel the briny aroma, then sauté briefly in sesame oil and garlic, allowing excess moisture to evaporate. Top with a sauce of coconut milk curry or pesto blended with spinach for extra potassium. Interestingly, studies suggest glucomannan may blunt post-meal glucose even when other carbohydrates are present, making these noodles a strategic base for mixed dishes late in the day when insulin sensitivity wanes. Pause for a moment and envision these 6 foods arrayed upon your kitchen counter. Salmon gleaming like sunrise on water, eggs in a bowl the color of fresh cream, a jar of coconut oil catching the light, a bag of artisanal pork rinds crackling merrily, mason jars of amber bone broth, and a package of ethereal shirataki waiting to absorb any flavor you choose. What do they share? 0 sugar spikes, 0 carb crashes. But they also share something subtler: the power to replace fear with agency. When breakfast, lunch, or dinner is built around ingredients that do not push glucose into the danger zone, you stop playing defense against disease and start playing offense for vitality. Muscle repairs faster because protein arrives free of insulin chaos. Arteries relax because triglycerides fall in the absence of refined starch. Skin retains elasticity because collagen synthesis outruns glycation. Even your microbiome, that invisible metropolis lining your intestines, benefits. Pathogenic yeast starved of sugar retreat, allowing beneficial species to flourish. Perhaps you worry these foods are expensive. Run the numbers. A family-sized pack of wild salmon portions costs less than the bottled sodas and breaded snacks it replaces. Eggs remain among the most economical proteins on Earth. Coconut oil, shelf-stable for years, eliminates impulse purchases of baked desserts. Bone broth turns kitchen scraps into liquid gold. Shirataki noodles cost pennies per serving when purchased in bulk online. Pork rinds? About the same as potato chips, but infinitely kinder to your pancreas. Set those anxieties aside and consider the heftier price of unmanaged diabetes. Test strips, podiatry visits, prescription refills, and the intangible toll of days spent navigating fatigue instead of savoring life. So where do you begin? Commit to a single meal swap tomorrow. Maybe you trade your sugared breakfast cereal for a 3-egg scramble folded with fresh herbs. Or you pack a thermos of bone broth to sip mid-afternoon when the vending machine beckons. Each decision becomes a vote for stronger bones, clearer eyes, steadier hands. Keep a notepad by the fridge. Log how you feel 2 hours after eating. Glucose meters tell one story, but energy, mood, and pain levels often tell an earlier one. You have listened patiently, but information alone does not lengthen lifespan. Action does. Stand with me in defiance of the idea that aging equals inevitable decline. Let salmon repair your arteries, eggs sharpen your memory, coconut oil power your neurons, pork rinds satisfy your appetite without sabotage, bone broth knit together aching joints, and shirataki noodles prove that comfort food can be metabolically invisible. Your years have composed a symphony of experiences. Do not let excess sugar write the final dissonant chord. Choose instead to feed the future chapters with foods that love you back. If this journey into zero-carb nourishment lit a spark of possibility, carry it forward. Share these discoveries with a friend whose test results mirror your own worries. Print the grocery list and tape it to the pantry door. And if you crave deeper guidance, recipes, meal plans, or weekly inspiration, subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell. Together, we will turn fear into strategy, uncertainty into vibrant health, and the so-called sunset years into a radiant new dawn.